So again, welcome y'all to tonight's topic. For those of y'all who are new to us, this right here is my lovely and incredible wife, Iana.
And this right here is my dapper and debonair warm husband, Aize.
Yeah, I am warm. We're both trained therapists, relationship coaches. We've been doing this work together now for the past 30 years. We got over 30 years of combined experience together doing this right here for the past 16 years. So we're not new to this, we true to this. And tonight, y'all, we're talking about, are you even sexually compatible? Most couples aren't. Yeah. You know, when you, some of y'all may have said, I need to tune in tonight because this right here is a serious topic. It's something that we've been dealing with in our relationship. And, something that is definitely significant. And I want to make sure that we connected in a better way. But I want to answer that question first. Like, are we sexually compatible? And some of y'all might be saying that, I know we're not. I know we aren't sexually compatible. And so I'm here to get some tips and some tools and some strategies and stuff. So we're definitely going to give you all that. Before we get into that though, y'all, what I want to say is this.
I'm about to not be on this screen, dude. I'll let you know. I can't be sitting up like that the whole time.
Are you,
okay.
What you mean?
It just ain't getting me on. That's fine.
It's not getting you on? We can just turn it a little bit.
The little part of my hair, and that's it.
Let's just turn it.
Yeah, I'm talking about something else, y'all. No, that's too much on me. They ain't got you in there.
Oh, my bad.
Okay.
So check this out. Earlier, we got a retreat coming up in October. Retreat, the Make It Last Forever couples retreat. If you are bunged up, booed up in your relationship and you want to strengthen what you got going on, we invite you all to join us. It's limited spots. You can go to blamretreat.com. I'm telling you all this right now because Sunday early bird pricing goes away. It goes away on Sunday. So I'm letting y'all know right now, go to blamretreat.com. The price is going to go up. And so I want to make sure that y'all are aware of that. This Sunday. Yeah. This Sunday, the price is going up. The end of this month, the price is going up. So again, go to blamretreat.com. So peep this, y'all. Most couples that we work with, and again, we're trained therapists, relationship coaches. Most couples that we work with are, have difficulty when it comes to the area of sexual
in some way,
compatibility. Yeah, in some shape or form. And it's not necessarily the problem that y'all might be thinking that it is. And I want y'all to really, grapple with that and just marinate on that for a second because we can make this thing to be a really big and significant problem. Right. But I want to normalize it. I want to normalize it because, if you're in a long-term relationship, one thing that I know is that we all experience shifts and changes when it comes to our appetite for intimacy, but also our even capacity to be able to perform. Don't knock that over, babe. Yeah. And so again, researchers have actually tracked couples and found that up to 80% of partners regularly experience moments where one wants sex more than the other does. That right there isn't shocking. You know what I'm saying? Where you got one person who wants it more than the other person. But I'm lifting that piece up because I want to normalize again this idea that doesn't mean that you're broken.
Right.
It don't mean that you're broken when it comes to sex and intimacy in many respects because over 80% of couples, or at least one partner, say that. It means that in some respects you're normal. You're normal. And so, this right here, is a serious issue or it's a serious area. But when we think about sex, when sex is great in a marriage, it accounts for about 15 to 20%.
I want y'all to catch
overall
that.
happiness.
Catch that. About 15 to 20%. Of your overall happiness.
When the sex is great. And so if you got banging sex, it's accounting for about 15 to 20%.
What kind of sex?
Banging.
Oh. What you said band.
Nah, banging.
I'm getting old. I don't even know what band sex is. What is that?
If you got banging sex, it accounts for about 15 to 20% of your overall happiness. But when it's bad, when it's absent, when it's missing, it accounts for 50 to 70% of the dissatisfaction, y'all. So when that thing ain't happening, when y'all not doing it when it's whack, when it's weak, the relationship satisfaction plummets.
Yes. So translation, great sex won't save a marriage by itself. But bad sex can absolutely break one.
Wow.
It can, right? So it's important for us to know that oftentimes we minimize what we have. So for all of the people tonight listening or watching, and you're like, we do all right, you know what I'm saying? We ain't perfect, but we do all right. When we get it in, we get it in. I might want it to be a little more often, but the connection is there. Or when we come together, it don't be fireworks, but we be working. And it's all right. Like, be grateful.
Yeah.
Too many people focus on all the things that are going wrong, all the things that we don't have, that, you know, it's not like them people on TV, or even when I talk to my girlfriend, her husband did this, or his wife be going down on him all the time, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, right? But we need to focus on the things that we can be grateful for, because there are so many gifts that we have that we do not recognize in our sexual connections. And for those who are not having sex, who are just not coming together, you do need to understand that it is a problem. And I'm going to talk specifically and particularly.
To the women?
No.
What?
I know. I mean, whoever this hits to the person.
Because I want to know if the women are talking about this when you're talking to them.
Okay,
like,
that's great. I'll come back to that for 1 second. But let me just say this real quick.
I know we lift it up. We talk about it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But go ahead.
Talk about what?
We talk about sex.
Okay,
like
I don't even know what you're talking about right now. I'm just trying to say what I'm trying to say. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm like, he got me like, go to the point I want you to go to. I'm like, I'm confused. I'm just gonna say what I'm gonna say. Look, what I'm trying to say right now, y'all, is that, you know, whoever is not, you know, whoever's not getting it in, whoever's just not interested, you're not more inclined. I mean, there's been periods of time in our relationship where I'm like, I'm really not as interested, babe, right now. That perimenopause lady, she done came and shined over here, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to get through. When we do it, it's like, oh, I needed this, but before that, I didn't know I needed it. You know what I mean? So there are people, whether men or women, and sometimes people make the assumption that it's the women who are not about it. But particularly as people get older in age and that kind of thing, it'll be the men too.
Yeah.
The men is just like, I'm not, I mean, I can get it in, but I don't need it as much, you know? Or there are issues that you're having that prevent you from actually wanting to go there because you're concerned about performance issues or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to talk to y'all for a second and say, you keep thinking it's not a problem. Or you keep thinking that it's a problem, it's been a problem, but it's been so long, it's been a thing for so long, it just kind of fades into the background and it kind of moves into the normalcy of your relationship that it kind of, well, I mean, it has been a thing and it just is what it is. I want to keep sleeping like that. People wake up 20, 25, 30, 35 years into a marriage and say, no more. I can't do it no more. I love this person. But you ain't even trying no more. You just totally tapped out. You ain't even trying to, you know that, you know, I'm just gonna keep it 100, especially as we get older, your penis ain't working the same. Wow, 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 wow. It just ain't working the same. It's like up, and then it's down a little bit, up, and then it's down. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's real talk. Y'all can act like y'all know what I'm talking about, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, this is real stuff. And so for the men out there who, you know, you just get stuck on that, and then you just go away and just, I'm just so taking it.
Go away when I like get up and go away.
I was trying to say you know what I'm saying? But, you know, you're so taken aback by that. And I'm not a man, right? But then you don't come to the party. You know, you don't recognize you got a mouth, you got a tongue, you got fingers, you know what I'm saying? You got all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's a real thing. This is not uncommon. We have been doing this work for a long time. It's a lot of men who have very persistent and pervasive erectile dysfunction, or they have issues that come and go. It's not always there, but you know, some people, they drink alcohol and it's just they used to do it when they was 27, but now that they 57, oh, you ain't getting up after I done had them 3 drinks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not happening. So what? So what? It's the norm. It's the norm at this age. If you're older, we talking to you. So what I'm saying to you is stop tapping out and not trying and getting so thrown off by that. Don't be thrown off by that. Come back to it. You got other things that you can do. And for all of the partners, you know, I'm talking to the men. I talk to women too. I'll let you talk to women. But I just want to talk to the men because I know that's very common. And for women, you know, who may be frustrated, what have you, you got to really practice radical acceptance. That's a term we talk about in the therapy world, right? Like radical acceptance of yourself and your life and where you are and, you know, who you are and where you thought you'd be, right? We don't really talk about sex, but I want you to transfer that to your sex life and to your partner.
Yeah.
Radical. Why do you keep making this thing go up on here on the screen?
I'm trying to make sure that the mic is working. That's why I got up, you know, to make sure that the mic is
just annoying me. Keep putting stuff up on the screen. Okay. All right. So radical acceptance means that even when you're frustrated, even when you're feeling disconnected, even when your partner's not showing up the way you want them to, then you can't give yourself credit because you did it for 2 weeks and then you went off on them. You can't give yourself credit because I gave him a card and said I love you, but then I was walking around silent and pissed off because we was trying to do it the other night and we didn't go all the way and you just rolled over and I just was like went off on you. You have to be consistent in your radical acceptance. You can be consistent in your and this is, I can give you this for this area, for any area of your relationship. I can consistently say this is not enough. Be careful about the timing. You don't say that when y'all in the bed. Duh. But some people do. Some people do. And the thing that's a duh for me is somebody else's radical awareness. Whoa, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? You don't do it in the bed. You don't do it in that place and space because that's a vulnerable space. But whether we're talking about sex and intimacy or we're talking about any part of your relationship, the nuance that's hard for people sometimes is to say, I'm not satisfied. This is not okay. I don't want to hang out in this space for the rest of my life. And I need you to do better, do more, show more, right? And I radically accept you in terms of where you are and who you are. It's hard for people to do that. So while they have to, as I just talked to the other person, the men in this situation, right? They got to work on their staying engaged and not tapping out because your penis is like, I'm asleep, sorry. You know what I'm saying? You can still do some other things, right? Your partner, the woman in that situation has to also be like able to show genuine, like, oh, it's what's happening right now? Talk to me. I want to know what's happening. You okay? Right? Radical acceptance, because that's going to encourage your spouse, your partner, whomever, right? To be able to lean into you, to tell you what's happening and what's going on. But if you're not doing that, you're making it much more difficult. And so there's a responsibility on everybody's part. I know I went all over the script.
You did, babe.
I went all over. I went places I wasn't supposed to go.
Yeah,
but that's a real situation. Somebody on IG said ED is real.
Yeah.
So I wanted to address that specifically.
It definitely is real. And I think that, I mean, when you lift that piece up, so I didn't plan on going here at this particular juncture, but when you lift it up, I think that it's important because number one, we as men need to know that we have a safe space to be able to share that if we're experiencing that. And so, ladies, it's incumbent upon you, when my wife lifts up that radical acceptance piece, it's incumbent upon you to create that safe space. Because that's a heavy lift. That's a heavy load to lift if a brother is dealing with that, especially if we define our manhood based off of that, which a lot of men do. And if you arrive at a point in life where, whether it be based off of your daily responsibilities at work, whether it's based off of your, just the fact that you're aging and you're not taking care of your body in a way in which you need to, if you're engaged in some other habits, whether it be alcohol consumption, drug consumption, whatever it is that's impacting your ability to be able to perform sexually, then...
We're not about to have no radical acceptance on your drug consumption.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that, are you creating a safe space for me to be able to express the angst, the insecurity that I'm feeling when it comes to my sexual performance?
Yes.
So whatever the underlying thing that's contributing to it is, that's a different conversation. But I'm still dealing with this. My dick don't work. Yeah. And so if that's the case, then do I have a safe space to explore that with you? And for some people, the answer is yes. For others, the answer is yes, but. And so, but what we as men feel is the but, not your ass, but we feel the but. And the but is, but what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
We feel that, but we don't feel the safety in terms of our ability to be able to explore our inability to perform in a way in which, is satisfactory to you, but even more importantly, satisfactory to us.
Right.
And so for a lot of women who say, I create that safe space, you can't be the judge and jury of that. You need to ask your man that. Ask your man, do you create a safe space for him to be able to express what it is that he's feeling?
Yeah.
Around challenges as it pertains to this particular area.
Yeah, thank you. Selap, I don't know if that's how you're supposed to say it, 0317 on IG said this is extremely important and we as wives need to be aware. Yes. Yeah,
so that's just one of the many problems that, that folks experience when it comes to sexual compatibility. There's a few others that we want to lift up. And so one thing that I want to say is that some folks just got different desire levels. Different desire levels. And so one of y'all wants sex 3 to 4 times a week, and the other is content with just once a week or less.
Just get turned on out of nowhere. Like you're just washing dishes and you just turned on. The other person's like, what is you doing?
Yes.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, or even when it comes to like timing, timing may be a thing too, in terms of like, I'm ready whenever, I wake up ready. A lot of men do, especially when you was younger, you woke up and you was about that business. You was ready.
What about now when you get older?
I mean, when you get older, like, the first thing on your mind is the bathroom. Like, let me go to the bathroom. I actually told my wife, I said, nah, baby, like, not right now. Like, just
I be tired.
I be thinking you be trying to set me up, though. I think my wife, she'll set it up because at nighttime, like, I'm like ready and I'm trying to get things going. And then she'd be like, what about in the morning? And she probably know in the back of her mind that when the morning come, I'm not thinking about, like, I could care less about, I'm trying to pee.
What is that about?
Like, I'm trying
I thought you wanted. Pee and then come back over here.
Yeah, but.
You just be like, nah, babe.
I mean, actually, in the morning, I would prefer like a few more minutes of sleep. That's actually what I would prefer.
Several more minutes. A few more minutes. He referred with several more minutes.
So you got these different things that contribute to the problem. And another piece that I want to lift up is that, some people got different ideas of what sex actually is.
That's interesting, right?
Because for one person, sex could mean that we actually do missionary and there's penetration that is present. But for other people, when it comes to sex, they might be thinking that it's oral, and oral is sex. And so
and hands and touching, and extended kissing and sensual touching, put your finger in there. And all of that is sex, but some people just like, if you didn't go up in me, or if I didn't get my dick wet, I hope they don't ban this video. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it is, like, then it doesn't count. And I think we need to change some of that.
Yeah, or if I ain't busting that.
Yeah, if I didn't have an orgasm, you'd be like that.
I wouldn't say it's not sex.
You don't think it counts. Whatever you want to say, you don't think it counts. Okay? All right, carry on. You say that now on this joint right here, but that ain't how you be feeling.
But here's the thing. So I think that within the context of a healthy and committed relationship, there's something that we need to really take into consideration, and that is the agreements that we make around sex. And so I think that every couple, they have two types of agreements that they make around sex. You have explicit agreements, and then you have implicit agreements. And this right here is really important, y'all, because when it comes to these explicit agreements, I want y'all to keep in mind that these are things that y'all have actually conversed about. Y'all have actually said these things. Loud. Yeah, out loud. And so what are some of the things that's on the table? Who initiates? What happens when one of you says no? And most couples have, they have these explicit, agreements within the context of their relationship in terms of like defining what sex looks like. But the thing that really gets us are the implicit agreements. The implicit agreements are the unspoken assumptions that both of y'all bring into the bedroom from your upbringing.
Y'all ain't said it out loud, but it's coming with you.
Coming from your faith, your past relationships, the media,
your upbringing,
auntie and them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, things. So one thing that I know is that sometimes people think that men should always be ready. Yeah. My wife, she just mentioned like you be wanting it, so why don't you want it in the morning? I ain't say you should always be ready. Implicit, agreement or an assumption that's made that, I'm going to be ready whenever.
Another one is women shouldn't be too ready. Shouldn't be too eager. Like, it's not ladylike to be too eager. I don't have that problem, but just saying, like, that's one that women can have, you know what I'm saying, where they're not gonna, initiate. I know I'm talking to people who understand when I say that whole initiate thing. My husband, I have said this many times, and many women and men talk about this whole piece around, can the women initiate? Do I always got to be coming and asking and trying to make it happen and being rejected and all that kind of stuff? And, I thought about that. The more we've done this work, like, wow, men do have to, they often are the ones initiating. They are the ones bringing it forward. It is not always the case. Let me make that clear, because there's lots of men who ain't interested in the woman is initiating, like tired as hell, right? That's right. So that is true, but oftentimes it is men initiating. And when I found that out, really got clear about that, and like, dang, I don't be doing that. And women, we do need to do that. You know what I really thought on the inside, like deep down on the inside?
What you think?
Like in my as my husband likes to say, in my lower belly. He be talking about his lower belly. I know that's so irrelevant right now. You're like, what's wrong with you? You're like, my lower belly. I'm like, what? You got a lower belly and an upper belly? But anyway, that's irrelevant.
You got lower intestines and upper intestines.
That's just disgusting. Why are you saying? Why do you even talk like that?
Lower, it's the lower. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You got feelings and you got rumbling sometimes in your lower belly.
Okay.
Do you ever
let's
have
just
that?
pause. Does anybody? So do y'all? When your stomach hurt, let's just pause for a second. This ain't nothing to do with. But that's one of those. Do y'all identify what he's talking about? I'll say what's wrong.
Do y'all know about the lower belly?
He'll say my stomach hurts in my lower belly. Do y'all know what he's talking about? I don't even know what that. What
Ella said it's in my fupa.
Ella in the fupa. That's what we got. That's what us as women got. But what is the lower belly? Actually, tell me. What is he talking about? I'm for real. I'm like looking at him like, what is you talking about? But dang, don't let me lose my daggone spot. You know I got ADD, so I'd be forgetting what I was saying. What was I saying? Damn it.
I don't know. You got into the whole lower belly piece. And so
I was talking about what I believe on, what not believe. Well, maybe it is what I believe because I just told him.
About the whole initiation piece?
Yeah, the gut. Thank you, regular. Like when I learn more about like, wow, as women, we really don't initiate, you know. We don't lean in the same way. We're not vulnerable.
What you feel in your lower belly?
This is what you're supposed to do. Just go and initiate. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't want to do it. I don't like to do it. You had to holler at me. Actually, though, back in the day, I'm sorry, I'm getting way off track. Like you had to holler at me. Like, don't men have to be the ones that have to come and, you know, let me see how I can get at her. Then they got to try to pursue you. Then they got to try to court you. Then they got to try to get you. Then they got to get on one knee if you're lucky, right? And they got to ask you to marry him, right? And then they get in the marriage. Then they got to try to like, can it's up tonight?
We got last up.
You know what I'm saying? Let me give you a little massage, right? I'm like, damn. I seen this thing as a therapist and a coach. I'm like, dang, y'all be having to put it in. But when it came to sex, I'm like, oh well, just keep going at it. You'll be all right. So I'm not saying that's right, y'all. Don't get mad at me and don't come for me. I'm just sharing that there's a lot of cultural things as we get back to, you know, kind of looking at these implicit beliefs and biases that we have. There are a lot of things that get in the way that we're not aware of. So I can have awareness that I need to do a little bit more, maybe a lot more. But at the end of the day, I might think like, I don't feel like I should have to do that.
Yeah.
And so where's that coming up in your marriage and your relationship?
Yeah, and that's really where the pain starts to enter into the relationship when it comes to sex and intimacy, because the problem is that like most folks got zero explicit agreements and a mountain of like mismatched implicit ones. And so those are all up in the relationship. And you know, the reality of it is that y'all are hurting each other based off of rules, based off of ideas, thoughts and feelings, beliefs that y'all never agreed to.
Yeah.
And so these things are driving the mismatch, driving the disconnect in the relationship. And so we got to be careful on that. You know, we got to be careful and we got to make sure that we're working on making the implicit agreements explicit. So speak up. Stop making these surface assumptions. You got to say them out loud. You got to write new shared agreements in your relationship when it comes to sex. All right, you know, really examine your thoughts and feelings and you know, move toward making sure that those things are placed on the table. That's really important.
Yes, indeed. So I want to ask a question. I want y'all to answer this question and be as honest as you know how to be. Okay, be as honest as you know how to be. Tell me one thing about sex you've always assumed that your partner knows. One thing that you've always assumed that they know you want.
They ain't gonna tell you. They're not gonna put it on
that you've never actually talked about. But one. Can anybody speak to it? Can anybody put it in the chat? You can direct message us here, Blamily on Zoom. We ain't got to say your name. One thing you just assume like they knew I wanted. Like, why would they not know this? That I wanted, okay? This question that I'm posing right here, damn, even Instagram, even y'all quiet. Y'all ain't gonna put nothing in the chat. One thing about sex, you always assume that your partner knew you wanted, that y'all never actually talked about. This changes marriages. This changes relationships when you actually take the time to really pay attention to this. But let me see, is there anybody?
I think oral sex is one.
Oh, you think what?
Expectations around that.
How me find out y'all quiet as hell? You ain't nobody even DM us on Zoom. Y'all's quiet as hell, blatantly.
They don't want to put it out there.
They're like, I'm not about to say that. Come on, it's us. Y'all can say it. What does this mean right here? Over here. Okay. So I see something that's coming. Okay. So I don't know if I totally. Do you understand this one? You understand? So the question is, one thing you've always assumed I knew or wanted that we never actually talked about. Now this person said, when you're coming. Okay, person, message us some more to give us more clarity. When you say when you're coming, like what about it? What about it in terms of like that you want to come? Because let me tell you something, that might not be what you're saying. Give me some more context, please, and let me know. But thank you so much for being the one to share with us. I got you, girl. So let me say this: when you're coming, and I will say it's a woman who said this. Okay, we can say that much, right? So we give a little bit of context.
This is a process of elimination.
No, it's not a process of elimination. It's multiple women on here. Okay, but what I'm saying, y'all, is there are a lot of times when we assume, again, that our partner knows something and they don't know. There are a lot of folks who are having sex today in marriages that they've been in, relationships they've been in for a long time, and they don't even have no orgasms. And they don't talk about it. And they might, and you may be going down this lane in terms of what you said. It may not, I may not be, I don't know. But, the whole piece of, not necessarily feeling free to be able to say, I would think you would know that I would like to experience an orgasm when we have sex. I don't just want to be here to please you. You know that right there. And unless you say it, even though I know some people will tell me, why would I have to say something like that? You're absolutely leaving your relationship and your marriage at risk because you're not willing to share the things that you need to share. So we're going to talk about the foundation of some things you can do going forward to be able to shore up your sex life. But go ahead.
But yeah, another assumption that came in was the assumption that men always want sex. And so we spoke about that. Now here's the thing. If you are a woman that has a healthy appetite and you enter into a relationship and you have that expectation, then that whole mismatched libido piece thing can be really significant and really detrimental. I mean, if you're a man...
Detrimental?
Yeah, mismatched libido to the degree in which, like, again, if you're operating off of the assumption that men want it and you get into a relationship and you have a healthy appetite, it's like in your mind, I got somebody who's going to meet me at the summit. But if that experience...
At the summit.
Yeah, if that experience ain't happening, then that can be frustrating, man. That can be frustrating. And I think that men, when it comes to our assumptions around women wanting it, I think that we actually operate from the perspective that we got to do the chasing. So I don't know if depending upon who you decide to be in a relationship with, I don't think that a lot of men... Let me not speak too freely about that. But I was about to say, I don't think that a lot of men think that their woman is going to match them when it comes to appetite. I don't think a lot of men feel that way. But again, some women, be outpacing men. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Go back to that other comment.
Over here?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right, so yeah, we're gonna move on, y'all. We're gonna move on, and we're gonna give y'all some things that y'all can actually focus on to help you really improve the intimacy in a relationship. Number one, again, the piece that we wanted to lift up here was to normalize that these disconnects are real, and that a lot of folks experience mismatches when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to sex specifically. And so if you find yourself in that space, then just know that you're not alone. At the same time, too, this is such an important piece when it comes to a healthy relationship that you don't want to ignore it. You don't. So fellas, if your woman is trying to be booed up and connecting in with you and experience intimacy on a heightened level, like, don't push that thing aside. You don't want to do that. And ladies, if you're man...
What you do?
I just burped. If your man has a heightened appetite, and don't just push that piece aside either. And I think I spoke about this yesterday. Like, there is a healthy sexual appetite, and there are addictions that are present as well too.
Yes.
And so we want to make sure that we're being mindful, because just because if your man or if your woman is addicted to sex, it don't mean that you got to be the dealer.
Ooh. Yeah, give yourself that. Ooh, y'all, ooh, that was good. That's a you ain't gotta be the dealer, you know. And sometimes it's not even that you have to say it's addiction, but they have a, you know, we call it a healthy appetite, and people just kind of that, you know, oh yeah, I'm ready, I stay ready, that kind of thing. But you don't recognize that that is, you know, showing up for you because you're using that as a way to self-soothe. You're using that as a way to avoid certain things. You're using that as a way to distract yourself from some of your stresses. And also it has also just become habit, right? That's how you kind of get some of the tension off of you. And then you want your partner to show up and be ready to go. And it looks like they're the ones who are not, you know, coming through, but you actually haven't done the work that you need to do to actually pause and say, if the average married couple has sex, what is it?
It's in a healthy relationship.
Relationship.
Yeah, 1 to 2 times per week.
1 to 2 times per week.
That's 4 to 8 times per month. 4 to 8 times per month.
Yeah. Then if it's 1 to 2 times, and you, because we have heard this in our work, and you want it once a day,
multiple times a day,
twice a day, 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Right? Like
daily.
Even if you're like, well, I'm okay. I can do 1 to 2 times a week. I'd be happy if we could do that, but I would really love it if we could do twice a day. Well, then that shares that, you know, that leans into like, there's something going on with you. There's something that you're getting from the sexual connection and the discharge and all of that you need to look at. And you're putting perhaps maybe a little bit of a burden on your partner because of your stuff that you haven't worked out and figured out. And sometimes, you know, people who don't really understand this dynamic, they just kind of go into sex is needed, it's healthy, you need to have it, especially if you're not really having it even 1 to 2 a week. You'll go to therapists, coaches, right, who will kind of like put the focus on the partner who's not available sexually. But we see deeper than that. And we know that 2 things can be true at once. You need to be having more sex, and you also need to look at why it is that this is such an issue for you. It's not just because it's not happening. It's also because you're dysregulated, because this has become a coping mechanism for you, right? Because perhaps there's been a little bit of an addiction that's going on for you. It helps you to be able to navigate life and do things, and you are looking to your relationship and to your partner for things that are inappropriate and, you know, spaces and places that you need to be doing your own personal work. So if this hits, just let it hit. You know, let it hit and stop avoiding that. Because I feel like people avoid that. I've shared this with people and they kind of avoid that piece. You know, like, yeah, okay, I get it. Just like I be doing with the oh, you got to initiate. Okay.
Yeah, because there's a flip to that. There's a flip to that.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, it is. And I want to lift that piece up too, because, you know, the flip to what my wife just mentioned is that, you know, if you're the person who is aware now that 1 to 2 times per week is what a healthy marriage entails.
It's based on research.
Yeah, based off of research. And then you make the decision that, you know, he'll be all right without it. Like, he's badgering me and he's bothering me and he's trying to get it, or she is badgering me or bothering me and they're trying to get it. Then you got to look at self and be like, you know, why am I avoiding? Why am I avoiding intimacy? Why am I pushing them off? Why am I not making this a priority? Why do I have time for my children? Why do I got time for you know, other things, you know, PTA and going out to work out or whatever it may be, but I don't got time for my man, I don't got time for my woman. So you got to examine that piece, like what's going on in that respect as well too. So you want to make sure that you're being mindful. So when it comes to, you know, just some solutions, some different approaches, now we're going to go from PG to R, all right? We're going to go from PG to R. We're not going to X. We're going from PG to R when it comes to solutions. So on the PG tip, you know, what I'll say is that you all can just simply do a monthly intimacy check-in. And so, you know, you all can have a 20-minute conversation. Make sure y'all put that thing on the calendar. Don't do it in the bedroom. Don't do it after a fight.
Not in the bedroom. Don't mess up your space for intimacy with a conversation that might be a little bit choppy. You know?
Yeah, and so essentially what you're just talking about is like, what felt good between us this month? What felt off? Where was the disconnect? And again, it's just an intimacy check-in. You're really leaning into the experience and just seeing where your man, where your woman is.
What do you want more of?
Yeah, y'all are having these types of conversations. And so that right there is a good one. So, you can try something like that.
Yeah. All right. And then the next thing is to do an implicit beliefs audit. Okay. This is where each partner writes down 5 things you were taught directly or by example about sex growing up, and then you just share. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to correct your partner. Don't correct yourself. Just understanding, right? When we create more understanding in our relationship, we automatically create more connection. Okay, so you're going to be shocked sometimes at what you find out about each other when you do this implicit beliefs audit. But again, write down 5 things you were taught directly or by example, whether you agree with them or you with that or not. And that's a way for you to continue to get to know one another in this very intimate way. Another
thing that you can do, y'all can actually do this tonight, y'all, is to have a conversation or just simply name it out loud, your desired style. What's your desired style? Are you spontaneous or are you responsive? I mean, really check in with yourself right now and ask yourself that question. Am I spontaneous or am I responsive? Now, some of y'all might say, I used to be spontaneous, but now I'm responsive based off of age, based off of life experiences, based off of the mofo that I'm in relationship with. It could be any of those things. But again, just be honest with yourself and have that conversation or name it with your partner.
Yeah. And so when you can get clear about that, some of y'all already know, especially people in the blam league, y'all already know, like, okay, I know I'm spontaneous. I know my partner, is not, and they're responsive. They need a little workup. They need me to give them some woo, all of that. But y'all ain't doing nothing with it. When you know that, you do have to show up and be accountable for what you know about your partner. So it's not just about naming the desire. Then you should become a student of your partner and say, what is it that I need to do to meet my partner? If it's spontaneous, which I say can certainly be that person. He's not all, he's primarily that person. He ready. He stay ready. That required that's a bit of a stretch for me because I don't want to be spontaneous. I'm like, you mean to tell me we just like, I just literally, let me give you an example. I just finished a session. I'm processing deep shit with people. I come up off the session, walk out the room. John just brush up on my nipple. What are you doing? He's like, well, don't you come back here in the bedroom with me? I just finished a session. I was getting ready to go downstairs and get some lunch before my next session. Why don't you come on back in the bed? I'm like, babe, I just finished a session. I know. Let me help you discharge some of that you might have absorbed.
Let me help you release.
Let me help you release that. So for me, I'm just like, no, Nick. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. Okay, that's for me. But because I know that he is spontaneous, right? That's just one example. Then what will I do to accommodate the fact that that's him, right? He's ready all the time, and I have to be able to flex. I'll be real and say, I'm still working on that. I am.
Yeah.
But for sure, it is something that I recognize that I just can't have awareness about. What am I doing differently to be able to meet my partner where they are?
And when it comes to the research, y'all, the research, it suggests that roughly around 70% of men experience primarily spontaneous desire, and only about 15% of women do. So what that's saying is that like some women be experiencing spontaneous desire, but mostly men be experiencing spontaneous desire. And when it comes to this whole piece around responsive desire, about 30% of women experience primarily responsive desire, and only about 5% of men do. And so there's a mismatch right there, y'all.
So sexual incompatibility is not as big a thing as you think it is. It's just how we're wired.
Yeah.
Stop tripping and make some adjustments.
So when we start to shift into some more concrete, even PG-13 style things that you could do, you want to make sure that you're not necessarily waiting for the spark. You want to build the bridge and don't wait for the spark. If your partner, if y'all have this conversation and you realize that they're a responsive, desired person, then they need context. They need warm up, they need a ramp before they want sex.
Flirt with me in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Can we take a long shower together? Can we have a slow dinner and drink a little wine and give some eye contact across the room? Can you set up the playlist comes on when I come in the house after we was out. You know what I'm saying? That bridge is getting built before anybody walks into the bedroom. Now, as I say
You might
that, it
not make it in the
sounds so
bedroom.
good.
Yeah, if you're in the shower
Sound
together,
good. It
you might
sound
not
good.
make it to the bedroom.
But I just want to say this for all the people who resonate with me. My husband is a G at this. When I tell you he's a G, he's a G. When I'm saying this, I'm like, this sounds amazing, but I feel exhausted. I feel exhausted reading that. Got to come up with a playlist. We have to do all these things. I know there are people like that. I know there are people like that who understand. So you don't have to get all of these things right. You know, we're giving you some suggestions for, you know, the kind of partner that you have, or the partner that you are courting, or that the partner that is to come, right? You need to build the bridge. Understand that there is a bridge to be built for some people. And if you don't do anything to build the bridge, you're only working against yourself.
Yeah, and a part of that building that bridge is actually scheduling it, y'all. Schedule it. Schedule
People don't
intimacy.
like that. People don't like
They
that.
don't. And so,
Nobody
you know, when it
likes
comes
it.
to spontaneity, like the reality is that my wife, she just said she's tired even thinking about those things. But when you consider the kids, work, stress,
Yes.
you know, you got a lot of things that you're trying to manage day to day. You do. But the reality is that if you can schedule all of these other things, you can also schedule sex. Just like you schedule a date night. And so the anticipation of what's going to go down is actually the foreplay. And so, you know, some of y'all might just roll your eyes when y'all heard me say that. And so even if you think that scheduling sex sounds robotic, look at it through the lens of scheduling intimacy.
Yeah.
You know, schedule intimacy.
Closeness.
Yeah. And who knows where that may lead. Who knows where that may lead. Another thing that y'all can do is y'all can create a yes, no, or maybe list, you know, where each person writes their own list. What's a yes, what's a no, and what's a maybe? And then y'all trade lists. Y'all talk about it, y'all revise the list, y'all revisit it over time. But again, you get to get a glimpse of what your partner has an appetite for, what their interests are when it comes to
Keeps it spicy.
you know, sex. Yeah.
I like that. And then there are 5 love languages of the bedroom. Did y'all know that? Who knew that? 5 love languages of the bedroom. So some people feel loved in sex through words, right? Other people feel it through touch. Others feel it through time. Others feel it through gifts like lingerie or candles or oils, things like that. Others through acts of service, right? So there's so many ways that we can get in touch with our love language in terms of sex. And when I say acts of service, that can be like your spouse taking the kids so that you can rest. And then you like, I'm rested, I'm restored. You done made some pizza for the kids. Come on in this bedroom and let's see what's up.
I did just make some pizza.
You sure did. You
trying to flirt with me?
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So there are lots of ways for us to get practical because we have very real lives, right, that we're all living. And so we just need to pay attention. Just pick up one of these things. Just pick up some of these things that we're sharing tonight, and you'll see a change in your intimacy.
All right, so we're going to elevate this thing and, you know, take it to a more experiential type situation. So you can actually do something that's called a sensate focus. Sensate, SENSATE focus when it comes to sex and intimacy. And so this is a classic technique, you know, in sex therapy. Where are you going?
Let's get a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
I'll be back.
This is a classic technique when it comes to sex therapy. And fundamentally what y'all are doing is y'all are actually taking turns giving and receiving touch. Giving and receiving touch with one rule, y'all. Guess what the rule is? The rule is that intercourse is off the table for the first few sessions, and that's done intentionally. All right, again, y'all are actually touching. Y'all are giving each other permission to give and receive touch. But the rule to this right here is that intercourse is off the table for the first few sessions. The whole point of doing an experience like this, y'all, is to rewire your body so that you actually get reacquainted with what pleasure feels like without the pressure to perform. And so couples who actually feel stuck And we work with a number of folks that have actually experienced this. They swear by this type of experience because it reawakens the senses. And when you remove the pressure, and what y'all are doing is y'all are just touching, y'all are giving and receiving. And the partner who has a hard time in terms of getting aroused, whether it be the man dealing with ED and he knows that we're not necessarily going to arrive at a point to where we do it, I can feel free to just be present in mind, body, and spirit in the moment. And so that's something that you might want to try. Another thing that I'm sure some of y'all, especially the men, and maybe even the women too, were good at back in the day. Use your words. Use your words. Talk nasty to your man. Talk nasty to your woman. And I get that some of y'all might be shy, and that's a normal part of increasing your comfort with your sexuality. Feeling shy, feeling uncertain, but then you gradually, the more you do it, you start to get more familiar. You start to get more acquainted with what your interests are, what your likes are, what your desires are. And you start to feel more comfortable with sharing with your man or sharing with your woman. And so one thing that you can do is start with affirmations during sex. Yeah, affirmations. I'm not talking about no Iyanla Vanzant affirmations. No, not during sex. I'm not talking about no biblical affirmations during sex. Thy rod and thy staff. I'm not talking about that. but what I'm talking about is something just simply saying that, this feels good. I like the way you touch me right there. I like the way you feel right here in this moment. I love the way you smell. I love the way you taste. Affirmations. I love when you do that. You want to build from there, and from there, when you're expressing what it is that you like, what it is that you want, in that moment, what it does is it creates familiarity in the sexual experience, and your partner can have a cliff note in terms of what to come back to the next time that you all engage with each other. And so the mouth is really an underused muscle in most intimate experiences. And so again, I'm not just talking about placing your mouth on genitalia or the rest of the body. I'm talking about actually using your words and expressing your thoughts, feelings, desires, affirmations when it comes to sex. Another thing is to expand the sexual menu. Expand the menu. Sex doesn't necessarily have to include intercourse every time. It doesn't. There's some things that can be done, y'all. Y'all can do oral. That don't include intercourse. You could use your hands. That don't necessarily include intercourse. Mm-hmm. You can have extended kissing, mutual masturbation.
Oh, that's a good one.
Massage with intention. Those massages be warming them some things. I'm mad that I'm sitting here talking about sex and you sitting here eating pizza. That's not real sexy right now. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we family,
I'm trying to set the mood, and I'm trying to get some people warmed up, and then you sitting there chomping on some pizza. Really?
I'm sorry, but I'm hungry.
It's so unsexy, but again, you can do all of those things, y'all. Mm-hmm. So many couples find that the pressure, it drops, and the enjoyment it starts to elevate when intercourse is intentionally taken off the table. And so if you do that, then there's other ways to experience sex. Again, this goes back to what we spoke about in the beginning. What's your definition of sex? Mm-hmm. Another thing you could do is introduce a toy or a tool. Now, I know back in the day, I would be talking to the
toy shop together.
Yeah, go to the toy shop. Yeah,
that's fun.
We've been. But I know back in the day, and some dudes even now be saying that I don't want my woman to get a dildo, to get a certain type of vibrator, because my concern is if she's experiencing this or that, then it's going to desensitize her to me.
Well, that's going to do better than me.
Yeah, and some people swear up and down by the roses, the jackrabbits, all those different toys and tools and stuff like that. But what I will say is that if you create a safe space in your relationship, then those can be enhancements. Those can be enhancements and actually add to your physical pleasure, your sensual pleasure, your intimacy experience. And so you don't have to necessarily worry. I think that people get concerned because there's a lack of communication when it comes to sex and intimacy. And so with the absence of communication, they're not. And so whether it be, and I'm not just talking about for women. I mean, men got toys as well too. So again, these things.
Y'all got?
Men got people, I think that you got like anal beads and
fake fake vaginas.
yeah, you got dolls and you got
Maybe y'all know about that?
yeah,
Don't act like y'all don't know. Everybody sitting on here like
pocket cats. Yeah,
y'all know they got the fake vaginas, and you can put they people be doing it to them.
Yeah, you got all of those things, and so those are some, and here's another one too. What did I see? Something like a penis sleeve. So I know some women have had experiences in which they've been exposed to men who are very large. And when they get married, they are dissatisfied with what it is that they're experiencing.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
And so there's something that's called like a penis sleeve that you can, fellas, y'all can actually put on.
What the hell is that though?
And you can what does it do? It expands the girth. So you stick your penis inside of it, and it expands.
It's like a condom.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And it expands the girth. And so again, that's something that can be done. So there's toys and there's tools and there's manipulatives for women for men that can be used as well too. And so, you also want to make sure you're using quality oils, lubricants, warming oils.
Wait a minute.
What?
Define quality oils.
I ain't talking about like no vegetable oil, no Crisco, no canola oil. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about like coconut oil, like grapeseed oil, like olive oil.
This Negro stayed taking the oil out the kitchen. The oil that's made to saute the onions and the garlic and the chicken. And it be up next to the bed on his nightstand. I'm like, Ninja, why is my olive oil? It don't be no vegetable oil, it be olive oil. But why is my olive oil on your nightstand, Shorty? Like, what is happening?
I'm about to give you a massage.
Get your own oils. So I just had to question that because he said quality oils. I'm like, you be using the cooking oil. It is olive oil, but it's not. I just feel like there should be a separation. I just feel like there should be a distinction between.
It's multi-purpose.
No, it's not multi-purpose. I don't want you to touch the oil.
I'm not taking it back downstairs
in the kitchen.
I put it in my own separate container.
Yeah, but you still take the olive oil from the kitchen, put it in your own. It's a little purple bottle. Why is purple? A little small purple bottle that he probably got off Amazon. He just poured into that joint, and he has it next to the bed.
Don't put a label on it.
You know what I'm saying? Use your own. Don't use the kitchen oil. Carry on. I'm sorry. I'm just wanting to just clarify that.
Oh my goodness. But it works though, y'all. It definitely works. And my wife, she don't be complaining when she get them coconut oil, olive oil massages.
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
I don't like olive oil massages. You don't do those.
You like the coconut oil?
You do coconut oil. You don't do that. You use olive oil, coconut oil for your own personal purposes. That's where he's a little more free. His own personal purposes. Okay? When I'm not involved.
And so, y'all could also share fantasy, y'all. This goes back into what we were speaking about before in reference to you all sexual appetite, desires, and all of that type of stuff. So share fantasy with your man, with your woman.
That's good. Okay, plan a getaway. We've said these things in the past. Plan a getaway with purpose. My husband and I are going away tomorrow. Thank you, sweetheart. Because I was like, wait a minute, no, we can do it another time. Wait a minute, we didn't have plenty of anniversaries. I'm like, we can just delay a little bit. And I usually be like, no.
Nah, we gotta interrupt, we gotta break.
Interrupt. You got a lot of stuff going on. I got a lot of stuff going on. Our family has a lot of stuff going on. So I'm looking forward to it.
It'd be hard for you to interrupt.
I'm looking forward to the hot tub and the pool. It'd be hard from who? Me?
Yeah.
And for you? No, not for you.
Nah, not to break away, not to tap out.
You might be right. I ain't gonna push back on that. But look, most marriages need this at least twice a year. At least twice a year at least. You need to be able to get together, come together, pun intended, right? And be able to, spend time with one another without concentrated time, without any interruption. So I think that's really important. So the getaways are important. Also, when you're having sex, we want you to have the afterglow conversation.
What's that?
Afterglow conversation. Somebody type afterglow in the chat. You know how when you pregnant, they be like, oh, you got a glow. Or when you got a new boo, for those who are not married, oh, you got a little glow. What's going on with you? But guess what? Married folks who are, hanging out with each other, being with each other, you get a little afterglow. Oh. And that's right after sex, right? Right after you have sex, right? Talk about what worked. Right, be curious about it. What was happening right there?
Just make that conversation quick.
When you made that, because your ass asleep. The hell, I can't believe he said that. Make it quick, because I really be into that. And he just, I mean, y'all meaning men are really wired to go to sleep.
We can't help it.
Y'all put us to sleep.
Y'all put us to bed.
But again, you wanna talk about it. What's that thing you did with your hand at this time? Like, can you do that again next time? Right? What was happening when you was like, oh, right? Like what was going on right there? Y'all, I'm telling you, these are the kind of conversations that Aiza and I have because I'm really curious. So after the fact, I want to know. He wants to know. And this is what helps you actually get better in the bedroom over the years. So I really encourage you to do that. That's that afterglow conversation. Get them before they, for the men fall asleep. And just get a little something that'll help you.
Yeah, but be ready though, because if y'all start to have that afterglow conversation and he's invested and he's involved, then it might lead to round 2. It might lead to round 3. So again, if the more you talk about it,
it lead to round 2 and 3. They ain't reading to no round 3. Remember you were 27, but not today. Say your mind. You said, be like, come on, let's go. And I be thinking, go to sleep. Go to sleep. Stop playing.